Shane Waldron's burner kicks off our mailbag. Coach, if that's you, you're welcome on anytime. I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Bears Now. He says, is there a scenario where the Bears cut Nate Davis? It's a good question, and I think it's at least a somewhat worthy of asking question. Now, Matt Eberflus said on Thursday that they tried to ramp up Nate earlier in the week. He felt it again, and they had to shut him back down, and they're having to start the process over, dealing with some kind of soft tissue situation. Flus said he's in the week-to-week category, which if you've kind of followed Flus's kind of day-to-day, week-to-week standards, day-to-day almost feels more like week-to-week. Week-to-week is like he's going to be out for a little while. So I don't really expect Nate to return this preseason. Maybe the final preseason game he plays, but I doubt we're definitely not seeing him Saturday, and I doubt we see him next Saturday against the Bengals either. The problem with cutting him is if he's a pre-June 1 candidate, I know if it's after June 1st, but you can still designate him pre, you actually lose about $1 million. If you do a post-June 1, which is right now, you only save $600,000, so it doesn't really help you on the salary cap. So unless he's a detriment to the locker room, which I don't know if he is or isn't. I know DJ Moore was talking to him after signing his extension on that Hard Knocks episode, so it doesn't seem like the guys dislike him or anything. I have no evidence to suggest that's the case. But my point is you may just have to have a $10, $11 million backup, like even if he doesn't start for you. Now, if you cut him next year, it only costs you $2 million in dead cap. You save like $9 million. So if he doesn't play really well this year, I do expect him to get cut after the season. But as of now, unless he's just bringing the vibes down on the team and they just don't trust him to play, I don't think he'll get cut. But I do think the Bears at this point are kind of like, listen, we can't promise you anything at this point in time. Like if we feel like Ryan Bates at right guard and Coleman Shelton's at center is a better option, that's what we're going to roll with. So we'll see how it plays out with Nate Davis. Hopefully he gets healthy and can play well, but I don't have expectations at this point. What do you think? Make the call. Would you cut Nate Davis? Type C for cut, K for keep. If he's not a distraction in the locker room, I'm kind of indifferent. If they cut him, I'd kind of be like, well, I get it. It up to this point, it hasn't been one of Pole's better moves. Let's just be honest. Doesn't mean it's his fault. It just hasn't worked out. But, yeah, he has not given you much. Club Dub with the $20 super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Says, should the Bears get someone like Dexter Lawrence? I mean, I'd love to, but the Giants traded for Brian Burns with the idea to pair him with Dexter Lawrence and with Kayvon Thibodeau. So I don't think that's realistic. Now, could that change at the deadline? Like if the Giants are just god-awful, could they just be like, hey, if a team throws us a 1, we'll take Dexter. We'll take it for Dexter Lawrence, like because they're a prime team to draft the QB next year. Yeah, like that could change things. But right now, like Joe Shane, Brian Dable, especially Shane, I think, under a lot of pressure to win this year in New York, trading Dexter Lawrence before the season does not help you do that. Jay Bills Games, appreciate the super. He says, Harrison, what's up, GOAT? Hope you and Rolly are good. Been a minute since I hopped in a stream. Rolly's good, man. He's not my Bears Now producer. We got our guy Cullen here now, but he still works at Chat Sports. He's just full-time on air now. Question for you. What should the expectations for Caleb be for his rookie season to you? You know, I think he should at least be a league average quarterback. I kind of broke down the numbers a few months back earlier in the offseason. If he's 16th in the NFL in every category, he'd be like, I think it's like mid-60s percentage-wise, 24 touchdowns and like 12 picks or something like that, and like 3,700 yards, 3,600 yards. Like, if he did that, that's one of the best Bears seasons ever for a quarterback. So even if his numbers were a little less than that, I think that'd be pretty happy. But I want to see growth more than anything else. I want him to be better in Week 18 than he was in Week 1. I want to feel, heading into 2025, that you've got the guy for the future. Like, that's most important. Short term, we hope he helps lead us to the playoffs. But you want to see him grow each and every week and get better and improve and, stack better performances later in the season than he did early in the season. Speaking of his debut, by the way, he's going to play in the preseason game on Saturday. Who's joining us for our live watch party? If you are, like this video, hit that thumbs up icon. If you're joining us on Saturday, we'll be live for Bears versus Bills. Pre-game show, full watch party during the game, and then we'll have our post-game show after as well. Hit that like button if you're going to rock and roll with us. All right, before we continue with your questions, hashtag Bears or Super Chat, we appreciate Game Time for sponsoring Chicago Bears Now. You trying to go to a Bears game this season? You trying to get the best price available and maybe even wait till the last second to buy your tickets? Game Time's the perfect app for you because they master in last-minute tickets for the lowest price guarantee. In fact, they promise it. If you find a ticket in the same row and section on a different ticketing app that is lower priced than the one you see on Game Time, screenshot it, send it to them. They will lower that price for you because they want you to have the best and most comfortable experience possible. They have pictures for every single seat in these stadiums so you know exactly what your vantage point is going to be, which is awesome. And the deal we have for you after you download the app and create an account is $20 off your first purchase only with code ChatSports. Terms apply there. So I'm going to go check out the Bears, the Cubs, the White Sox. A couple of months, we got the Blackhawks and Bulls coming back. Get started with Game Time today. Check it out. You can pay with your Venmo balance, which I think is really awesome as well. Makes it a lot easier if you have extra money floating around there. Also, $20 off, code ChatSports, first purchase only. Link is in the comments and description to go download the Game Time app today. Create that account, plug in the code, boom, you are good to go. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's show. Shout out to Club Dub, little $50 super chat. What a legend. He says, what are your expectations for the offense as a whole? I think you got to be at least a top half group. And if you're not, I think there's one of three culprits, injury aside. One, Caleb Williams just isn't nearly as ready as they thought they would be. Now, again, is he going to guaranteed to have a great year? We don't know. He's a rookie. There's a lot of unknown there. But they've surrounded him with enough talent where if he's the talented prospect we think he is, even if he's up and down, he should at least be pretty good. Number two, Shane Waldron's a joke, which I don't think that to be the case. I think he's at least solid. And then, or number three, the offensive line is a disaster. Injuries, guys in and out, players not playing up to par. The center thing is a problem all year. So I think if the offense isn't at least top half in the NFL, one of those three reasons is the main reason why. Adam Downing, any recent news on the new stadium? Not really. Kevin Warren was talking during the Hall of Fame game. They brought him in during the rain delay, him and Ryan Poles, and he said the goal is still to get a shovel in the dirt in the year of 2025. Now, you've got, 16 months until the end of 2025, so that's a long time as long as it starts by next year. But I think he wants to make it work on the lakefront, but Arlington Heights is still in the mix. They're being diligent, but there's not really any public developments at this point beyond what we already know. I mentioned our watch party. Sub and join us. We'll be live on Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Central, getting you ready for kickoff, and then kickoff at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Time. Bears, Bills, Caleb Williams debut. And by the way, Bills playing their starters too, so it should be a good test for the Bears starting offense and defense. DC Viper, what backups do you think make the case to make their roster, and what starters right now are fighting for their starting job, or is the depth chart already set? Definitely don't think it's already set. A lot of evaluating to go with training camp in the preseason. I think backups that are making a push are guys like Colin Johnson, players like Velus Jones trying out at running back now, seeing if he can make that work. Guys who could be in danger of losing their starting job. I think Nate Davis, right? Like, he's the guy that stands out. Like, is he a projected starter that could find himself in roster danger or at least in danger of losing his starting job? I definitely think that's a possibility. But, yeah, I think those are a few names to monitor. Corey B., are you concerned at all? Caleb has looked great in 7-7, but not much in 11-on-11. I mean, look, that's kind of standard. Typically, the offense is going to win more in 7-on-7. 11-on-11 is meant to be more back and forth. I don't want to use big defining words at this point with Caleb, like concerned or incredible. Like, it's going to ebb and flow. Now, I wish there were more positive days up to this point than there have been, but the offensive line has been in flux. I want to see him play Saturday. I want to see him play against another team, and I think we'll get a better feel for where he's at. And again, if he goes out there with those 2 picks, that doesn't mean I'm jumping off a cliff. Those 2 touchdowns doesn't mean I'm declaring him MVP. I hope it those 2 touchdowns. I hope he doesn't throw 2 picks, but I do just want to see him operate against a different team. I think that'll be, good for Bears fans just to kind of like take a step back and, not rely so heavily on these tweets from practice that we always have to react to. All right, how excited are you to watch Caleb on Saturday? Because I'm pretty damn pumped, man. Anytime the number 1 pick gets on the field for the first time for your team, I mean, that's pretty special. So I got to go 10 out of 10. I saw some people earlier were typing 18, and that's an acceptable answer also. But let us know, scale of 0 to 10. J-Bill's games, you probably already said so. Appreciate the 5, by the way. But what percentage on a scale of 1 to 10 is the likelihood Bates starts over Walrus Davis? That is tough. I did tweet today. I think Nicholas Moriano of CHGO tweeted out the starting 5 to start practice today, which is what we've seen recently. Braxton at left tackle, Tevin at left guard, Coleman Shelton at center, Bates at right guard, and then Darnell Wright at right tackle. I quote tweeted that, and I said, this is the way. I do think that's going to be your week 1 starting 5. Now, listen, if Davis gets healthy and is balling out, I got nothing against him. I want the best players to play. He's just been unreliable at this point. So I do think I'd go higher than 50-50. So I guess 6, 7 out of 10 that Bates is your starting right guard week 1, Shelton at center, and Davis is a backup. Could that change? Absolutely. We're still about a month out, but that's where I'm at right now. Appreciate all of your questions. Got a lot of good ones in there. No, we couldn't get to everybody, but if we didn't get to you, hit me up on Instagram at HGramNFL over there. Same handle for Twitter, X as well, at HGramNFL. Go find me. DMs are open if you want to fire away.